their tests are prone to hydration level variations, meaning that it can be prone to inaccuracies. And what I'm really excited about is that we're the only company to have technology which can be developed into a continuous monitor. And I have a bit about to show, something to show about this later. We're built to outlast the competition because we have an extensive IP portfolio of not just one, but multiple progesterone sensors. And we have exclusive licensing rights to this technology from Boston University. After talking to a number of regulatory experts, they all agree that we have a short time to approval. We plan to apply for FDA Class 1 device 510(k) application in a space which already has an existing precedent. And so they think that we can get approval in just 3 to 4 months. We also plan to get HSA and FSA approved so our customers can enjoy a product at a lower price point with the help of their employers. And so that brings me to a rollout and implementation plan, which is to first complete a pilot study with a fertility clinic at the end of this summer, where we'll test the accuracy of our product compared to the gold standard. We'll then use those results to apply for FDA Class 1 device application at the end of the year, and thereupon we'll engage with contract manufacturers to produce the device and test strips at a large scale. We'll then work with our strategic partners, such as the fertility clinics, which I'm showing here, Boston IVF, and Fertility Within Reach, whom we already have contact with. These fertility clinics are looking to expand past their brick and mortar stores and reach customers on a national basis. And we can help them do that by providing a product to their customers. And also menstrual tracking apps, whose customers are actually leaving their apps because they don't fully trust the AI-based algorithms. And they want to supplement these data with a real-time quantitative readout like the product which we can offer. And so with that, we plan to reach our customers which need our product the most, almost $1 billion market size at a conservative estimate. And in early 2024, we plan to engage in direct sales ourselves through targeted advertisement through social media, and then retention of this growing customer base through blogs and emails. And so with that, we predict a revenue of over $60 million by 2026 with just a 5% market share capture and an EBITDA of over $16 million. And although this is really exciting for us, it's not all. Our company is actually not a one-trick pony. We have an underlying platform technology which has multi-market potential. We use this platform technology to mine microbes in nature for screening parts, which we use to engineer novel biosensors with to deploy into the target markets, which I'm showing to the right. And we address the problems and needs of these markets, starting with human healthcare. We can also expand to animal healthcare, agriculture, and bioprocessing or biomanufacturing. And looking further down the road, what I'm working on building is a continuous monitor which will provide insight into our body's state. The most commercially successful biosensor out there is for glucose, the continuous glucometer. But our bodies are so much more complex than that. Neurotransmitters, hormones, inflammatory markers. And what we're working on right now is developing a real-time quantitative monitor for these analytes, allowing us to prevent chronic illness and disease. And so that's why I'm really excited about our company, because I think of us as emerging of a company like Everly Health, which offers multiple single-use at-home tests, and a company like Dexcom, which offers a single continuous monitor. Currently, we've raised over $450,000 in non-dilutive funding, where we've developed 3 progesterone sensors, submitted a number of patents. We plan to validate our biosensor in a pilot study with a fertility clinic and submit for FDA approval by the end of the year. And I think this is a fantastic value inflection point for us to do a $5 million raise in early 2023, whereupon we can engage with contract manufacturers and market and sell our product nationally. I then plan to raise a $30 million round in early 2025 to engineer and characterize our continuous hormone monitor, perform those pilot studies, achieve FDA approval, and again, market and sell nationally. This endeavor is led by myself and the work which I've done during my PhD at Boston University. Steve Grant is helping me establish a sales team and also license existing sensing parts, which we already have, to companies which are interested. I'm also advised by a number of entrepreneurs like Rana Gupta shown here, And we have a world-class technical team led by Professor James Galligan, our CSO, who has years of experience in the sensing space. And our full-time engineer, Roman, who will be characterizing our biosensor further and performing the pilot study. We also have the advice of a number of BU professors, such as
Uraz, your screen has blacked out. We can't see you. Uraz, are you there? Uraz, we can't see you. Yeah, Uraz, we lost you 10 seconds ago. Go ahead. I'll take a deep breath. It's okay. It happens. I'll give you 15, 20 seconds more. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's fine. So we have the guidance of a number of physicians and regulatory experts, like the ones you can see here at Boston Medical Center and Ovation Fertility. And we've shown our ability to be collaborative and innovative in the academic setting, and then translate technology which we've developed in the academic setting into the real world by spinning out a number of companies. And so with that, if you're excited about our vision, if you're excited about helping partners get past infertility, please reach out, and thanks for your time.
Wonderful. Let me remove the screen. Yes, wonderful. Jury members, if you can see, there's a timer. Aryan, can you just put the other timer? Yeah, jury members, that's a timer. Let me start with Valerie. Valerie, your question, please.
I was trying in the few minutes that I knew which company to look up some of your patent position. Very interesting. So how much of that, that baseline technology have you realized? I mean, I like the electrochemical approach. I agree that seems to be very hot right now. And I might have missed it. How far are you on the component parts to a device?
Great question. Thank you, Valerie. As I mentioned, we have a number of progesterone sensors. We've published our most advanced one in Nature Communications in 2020. And that is our alpha prototype. We actually built an alpha prototype and compared it to commercial instrumentation. And in terms of accuracy, we're right there, 95% accuracy in terms of commercial instrumentation. That one we're ready to take to the pilot study. But you did a fantastic job. You did your research. We actually have an electrochemical hormone biosensor as well. And that one I'm personally really excited about because we can plug into the same manufacturing pipelines for the glucometer. And also what that means is that we have much bigger margins actually. So if you don't know already, the glucometer test strips they cost about 10 cents to produce per. And so I'm really excited about plugging our technology and our sensor into those existing pipelines.
That was going to be my next question. Thank you.
Yep.
Shankaram, your question, please.
Yeah, you said you're going to go the FDA approval by the end of the year.
Yes.
Now, is it going as a class 1 device? Is there a FDA test plan you already been approved for?
So with the regulatory experts that we're about to engage with, our QMIS, we plan to do a pre-sub meeting with the FDA, basically, in the next month or two. And then during that pilot study, we plan to plan those experiments around the FDA application. So the experiments which we perform with that fertility clinic will be using to apply for the class 1 application.
What kind of timeline are you looking at on this?
Yeah, so the pilot study will be performed end of the summer, August, September. And after we receive those results, we'll be submitting the FDA application.
Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Ritu Maria, can I have you take the next question?
I like to still let everybody else have the question and then I can...
Okay, Rajiv, yours.
Sure. Uros, I think I see this as a platform play. Great. My question is from a go-to-market perspective, do you see physician buy-in? Is that the route you would take post the approvals, or would you go directly, to the consumer side, of the spectrum?
Great question. I'm really excited about going direct to consumer. I think this is kind of a change of the market and sentiment. Basically, I think the pandemic really helped with this. Testing at home, becoming comfortable with doing diagnostic tests at home and communicating those results to your physician. So I'm really excited about that. There's also a potential market which I didn't explore too much previously, but for menopause as well. I actually had a woman reach out to me saying that she would love this product for testing her hormone levels before going on hormone replacement therapy. She actually didn't know that she was in menopause, and she was having a lot of symptoms, hot flashes, and yeah. But the platform play I'm excited about as well. We just have limited bandwidth at the moment, but that's why I have the expertise of someone like Steve Grant, who's helping me license our existing inventory of parts, sensing parts. We're talking about licensing a nicotine sensor at the moment.
Thank you.
Cool. Tritul? No, you're on mute, Tritul?
Yeah. So I joined a bit late, but I mean,
Okay.
just for my understanding, where are you going to be producing, this product?
Yep, great question. So I'm excited to plug into the manufacturing pipeline of a company like Agamatrix, for example, or Abbott's glucometer manufacturing pipeline. So those already exist at the moment, and I have a mentor who just connected with Nova Biomedical as well, so they could be another potential partner.
Cool. So Uros, now Shankar is a little disappointed because for everyone else you said good question. For Shankar, you didn't say that. Shankar, please note. Good. Thank you so much, Uros. Wonderful to see you pitching. Can we remove the judges and the team from Spotlight? Can we get the next team, Nemu, on Spotlight while the judges score? Wonderful. Nemu, can I see you here? I can't see Nemu here. Please, let's put Nemu on Spotlight. Judges, you can score, and please do remember to give in some qualitative feedback as well. Wonderful. Nemu, why don't you share your screen? Let us check screen share. Wonderful. And I think I saw on the call one of our friends from last year, Samantha Kalita from Oregon. Are you on the call, Samantha? If you're on, just put your video on so we can spotlight you till the judges give their scores.
Hello.
Can someone put Samantha on Spotlight? And Sarah, your screen sharing has still not started. Oh, wonderful. Hey, Samantha, how are you? So ladies and gentlemen, meet Samantha and Austin from Oregon. They were the finalists last year. Good to see you guys here, and I hope your startup has taken to the skies and doing well. So it's wonderful to see you here.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for inviting us.
Cool. So why don't you tell everyone how was your experience with the TiE University and how has it helped in your entrepreneurial journey?
It helped us a lot. We just recently ran a pilot, and we have a demo scheduled with a potential client. So it's been really great. We really appreciate it. It's been so valuable for us.
Yeah, it really
Wonderful.
helped us connect with some really helpful people too.
Cool. And any specific memories from last year?
Oh, wow. Well, it was really hard, but it was really good. And so I think we learned so much in that kind of month's time span. So a lot of growing, which was great.
Yeah, I would just echo that exactly. It was just really hard. It's one of those experiences that is just it's you slog through it and it's a struggle, and then you remember it forever because it's just that valuable.
I love that phrase. I echo that. I will use that with my spouse as well henceforth. Yeah, you always echo whatever your spouse says and you will be in good hands, my friend. Thank you so much, and I look forward to you guys mentoring some of the student entrepreneurs in this year's competition as well. Sarah, we are all set. I'm just waiting for the judges. Gordon, can you put Sarah on Spotlight, please? Not Gordon, I'm sorry, Aryan. Can you put Sarah on Spotlight? Can you put yourself on Spotlight so that the timer is visible? We're still waiting for two judges to give their scores. Sarah, how are you feeling?
Great.
All good? All set? Wonderful. Wonderful. Just give us a few minutes and a few seconds rather. Let me look at you taking a deep breath. Take a nice deep breath. So Sarah, we can also call you the daughter-in-law of India, right? So wonderful to have someone from New York who's the daughter-in-law of India. And I can see on the call that there are many people from TiE New York as well. my very, very close friend and someone whom I look up to, Darti Desai is here. Wonderful to see all of them cheering for you. So go for it. Okay, just give me a minute. Ritu and Rajiv, I'm waiting for your scores. Darti, if you're there, if you could unmute yourself and wish Sarah as she starts on the global stage.
I want to first say thank you to you, Pradeep, and to the entire TiE team. Good luck, Sarah. You've got this. We are so proud of you. And I know you're very proud of your achievements. So go get them. You're a winner. Everyone's a winner here. I really am so happy, privileged to be part of this. Good luck.
Thank you.
Can
Awesome.
I ask
Awesome.
Rajiv, can you tell us if you're having a problem with scoring? We are not seeing your scores. Ritu, I know you joined late. Can you tell us?
So Paul, I'm just typing in my comments, almost done in 30 seconds. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Okay, Ritu, what is are you scoring or you're going to skip scoring on this round? On this
I'm
particular?
scoring. So just tell me this. So it says C1, C2, C3, C4. So this would be C1.
Gordon?
Now they
Yeah.
say
This
choose the
company was called Biosensate. Is that what you asked?
Yeah. So so it's C1. Is this company that I'm rating?
I think on our drop down it shows C1 instead of the company name.
Yes.
Gordon, is that right? Gordon? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay. C1, yeah.
Cool. Okay, we are set. Let's put Sarah on spotlight. Let me take myself off spotlight. Yeah. Taking Darti off spotlight. Okay, Sarah. 5, 4, 3, 2. Take it away.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't see my time. Okay,
Yeah.
there's the time.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here you
Great.
go.
Thank you everyone for being here. I'm Sarah, founder of NEMU. At NEMU, we split property, not relationships. Losing someone is complex. Last summer, my grandma passed away, kickstarting a lot of administrative responsibilities for my mom, her estate trustee. Chief among them was figuring out how to divide everything in her parents' house fairly amongst her and her siblings. Her parents had lived in the same house for over 60 years, accumulating items both financially, but more importantly, emotionally valuable to her and her siblings. So she wanted the process to be fair, transparent, and efficient. I looked online for a solution and I couldn't find one. I dug a little deeper and it turns out my mom's story is not unique. In the next 10 years, 20% of the US population will inherit $70 trillion worth of assets. With my mom's problem pending and with such a large problem looming, I started asking around to see others' experience. And I found that estate transfers lack tools to fairly assign personal property. Estate transfers start through bereavement or downsizing. And there's 5 asset categories to consider when settling an estate, all of which can be supported by a wealth manager or an estate lawyer. But what I found was that personal property has a fragmented customer experience. And what I mean by that is clients of wealth managers and estate lawyers are asked to catalog and assign property on their own, which can be an emotionally grueling process. Then they have to work with appraisers for a hefty hourly fee to price any products they want to sell. And if they do want to sell goods, they have to work with estate sale managers for a high commission. And then any residual property is disposed of at local donation centers. And what I found through my customer discovery was that 0% of our beachhead customers used a tool to catalog or assign property, but 100% of them wanted one. That's where NEMU comes in. NEMU is an objective solution to an emotional process. It allows users to quickly catalog property powered by AI and AR tech, and then beneficiaries can review that property remotely and submit emotional value scores. We then take those emotional value scores and run our algorithm to equitably assign property, maximizing fairness and happiness amongst our users. And all of this can be viewed by those key professionals.
Sarah, we can't see you. Sarah.
I think she's lost her connection or she's frozen or something.
Yes. Yep. Just looking for it. Darti, is it snowing in New York? She looks frozen.
No, it's not.
Not. Okay, we will wait for it. we're all slaves to the internet connection always.
Do we stop the clock or we just let it go?
Okay, the clock is an improvisation, so I've just noted when she logged off, so I will give those minutes to her. Yeah. As they say in India, Vijay, we had to do some jugaad because all the other tools for the clock were not working out. This was the perfect solution we found. It's like a virtual background, so it's a pretty simple way to do it. But the problem is you can't reset it. So cool. So I anyway noted the time. Judges, hold on for a minute, and maybe if you want to give some more feedback to the previous team, you can take the time. Let's check with Sarah. Can someone from New York probably give her a call and check what's up?
I'm on it.
Thank you so much, Dusty. Wonderful to have you here.
Meanwhile, can I ask some questions on BioSense?
As long as you already given the score, so yes, I think you can still go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Ram.
Yeah. What's the cost of the device? What do you expect the cost, and how are you going to charge?
Thank you for the additional question. So we were planning to charge.
See, when you tell him that good question, then he likes you. So you have to do that.
Fantastic question. We'll charge $99. The conservative estimate to cost of production is $50. We've built our alpha prototype for $30 in lab. So, just to give an idea on the cost.
Does the insurance pay for it? I don't think insurance will pay for that, right?
No, most likely not. So that's why I'm planning to sell directly to consumers. So not go through insurance. I have seen an insurance code for progesterone tests though, but I think most insurance plans don't cover these types of tests for fertility.
Yeah, especially for pregnancy, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe for other biosensor probably can, but not for this one. Yeah.
Right. I've had mothers tell me, especially ones which are kind of struggling economically, that they stopped going to hospitals to do blood draws because they're just so expensive.
So for an average couple, in addition to the device, what would be the cost, say, for per month?
Yeah. So per month, we would send a number of test strips out there, so they would have enough to test over that month-long period. I have a timer. So the test strip package would be $50 per month. I think that's the price range that we're getting at. And so when we did our customer discovery, that was about the price range that we heard would be viable. And then we got an estimate for willingness to purchase.
Yeah, $500 to $1,000 a year. That's reasonable. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
To the other judges, may I request you that none of these answers need to be considered when you are scoring them or when you are having a deliberation. Please be aware of that so that they are not given an additional advantage, so to say. I just shared a QR code. If you can share that QR code, and all of you are welcome to give your feedback to the teams. These are the QR codes. You can go ahead and play jury yourself, give them feedback. It's not a competition, but it's more to see if we can leverage all the experiences that are there in this Zoom room to help people like Heroes and Sarah and Kunjpreet move forward in their entrepreneurial journey. So go ahead, scan the QR codes. If you can't scan the QR codes, I put the bit.ly there. Dharti, any update for me?
She's working on reconnecting. She's saying
Cool.
trying. What I would recommend.
I will move on to the next participant, Dharti.
Yes,
That's
please,
okay. Yeah, wonderful. Judges, are you okay with that? Judges, if you can just put a thumbs up if you're okay with that. Wonderful. Can I have Kunjpreet put on our video? Kunjpreet, wonderful. Can someone put Kunjpreet on spotlight, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Wait, let me put you on spotlight. Yep, you are on spotlight. Why don't you share your screen?
Yes, sharing the screen.
Okay, put it on full screen mode. Aryan, can you please put your video on so we can have the timer on?
Let me know when to start.
Yeah. Are you able to see the timer?
Yeah, no, actually not, but I have opened it on my mobile phone also.
Yeah, hold a second. No. Yeah, now can you see the timer when you're on speaker mode?
Yeah, I can. Shall I start?
Okay, Aryan, switch off and switch on the timer again so we can start on time. Okay, Kunpreet, take a deep breath. May all the powers of all the gods that you believe in be with you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your time starts now.
Countries of South Asia have massive under construction agenda. As much as 70% of India is yet to build. Hi, my name is Kunshpit Aura and I'm the co-founder of Angira Sanji Private Limited, presenting you a new revolutionary, lightweight, dam-proof bricks with the objective to disrupt the Indian traditional brick market. We all dream of having our own house, but have you ever wondered from where these bricks comes? These bricks comes from the largest polluting industry and the second largest in India, which uses the conventional system, which is highly non-mechanized, exploits labor, children's from the backward classes, and operates only for 6 to 8 dry months, which is highly seasonally dependent, and hence making it highly unsustainable and is at the edge of getting closed down by the central government in India. On the other side, we all are aware about the plastic problem that our world is going through. Surprisingly, 60% of it comes from the top 6 countries, and India being in that list. So here is our solution. We have developed an in-house sustainable patent pending technology to make such products like bricks and paver blocks using those alternate recycled waste material that you might have seen lingering in your neighborhood or end up in the water bodies. These bricks have been passed through on all the primary test results and validated by the government accredited NABL and ISO certified laboratory, where it has given the compressive strength of 10 megapascal equivalent to high class clay bricks and water absorption lesser than 5%. But what does it mean? It means that bricks is 40% stronger. It absorbs 80% less water. That means protecting the walls from dampness, water leakage, and all those issues that we end up spending for the repairment and the renovation. And based around 30% lighter in weight, reducing the structural weight, increasing the efficiency of labor, and hence overall reduces the cost for the end customers. These are some of the test reports of the bricks, and these are some of the data that has been validated through several test reports and has been and this data show that the bricks has potential to be commercialized. We have also developed our first pallet plant, which has the capacity of around 500 to 600 bricks per day, and it takes around only 30 minutes per batch, as compared to the other bricks, which takes around up to 14 days, requires only 3 to 4 labors, that is 50% less labor compared to conventional system, and only 7,000 up to 7,000 square feet of area compared to the clay brick system, which requires around 4 to 6 acres of land. We have also achieved its working performance with the cement mortar and the temperature variation, where bricks has given the outstanding performance. So far, we have gotten 5,000 plus units of pre-orders. From few of them are from the largest builder groups like Brigade Group, Goebal, and the architecture firms like Priyanka Arjun and Associates and Kamath and Rosario Architect based in Bangalore. Comparing to the unsustainable bricks or any other bricks in the market, we see that bricks is yes damp proof. It's also lighter in weight, up to 1 kg than the clay brick, and also the other advantage that we can deliver these bricks at your site within a day or two, and also it is recyclable. Hence, we can again recycle it into the secondary structures, and these whole benefits comes under the same price that you pay to these alternate building materials. And given these advantages, it reduces up to 20% of the brickwork cost for our end customers, which is like builders and architects. There are 2 to 3 players in the same domain in India market, but few of them either uses the same conventional method of using plastic waste with the cement sand and laying down in the atmosphere for drying and consume the same amount of labor, or either they uses expensive machinery, which is one, it is expensive, but it is also consume a lot of time in manufacturing per batch of bricks. Compared to us, we have developed our own affordable, scalable solution, which is even portable and can be relocated to at your site as well. But you might be also wondering like why we are targeting the brick market, because it is also one of the second largest. Indian brick market is the second largest after China, worth 25 billion USD dollars. And we are targeting the major cities of South India, which is around the coastal areas and have huge construction work on demand. And to start with, we have already started targeting the environment conscious builders and architects like Godrej Properties, Koival, and British Group, and even have got orders from two of them, which is worth around 27 million USD. So far, we have completed all the primary test reports and have worked with Udaipur Municipal Corporation and provided the recycled raw materials to the L&T in Udaipur. And in June, we plan to pilot launch and starting with the small scale projects and fulfilling those pre-orders that we have already received. And in November, we are planning to go fully commercial model, and plan to develop the commercial plant in either in Bangalore or in Chennai, because we have also seen a lot of plastic waste coming. Partners are there, and securing the BIS and IGBC certificates for which will give the added value like additional floor area ratio or tax and subsidies benefits to the builders and developers. And in next May 2023, we plan to expand in other cities, capturing the green building market of India. And in future, we also plan to be a technology providing company where we plan to outsource and franchise the technology, where we will be charging 20% as a licensing cost, creating micro entrepreneurs in tier 2, tier 3 city. And also that will reduce our own capital cost and will be easy to scale. Through direct selling, we charge $7.74 per 100 bricks. That will generate 43% of gross margin, which is highest from all the other bricks in the market, compared to the conventional system, which has only up to 15 to 10% of the gross margin. And if we see 12-month projected revenue, we are targeting to sell 1.75 billion of bricks. That will generate the revenue of 134K USD in just first 12 months. And through technology transfer, we will charge 20% as the total of the total licensing of the total cost. That will generate an average of around 5.67K dollars. And if we in next 12 months, if we target 12 franchisee, like one per month, we'll be able to generate $68 per licensing, and follow on the royalty charges, which will be around 361K from next 12 months. We are the team of civil engineers and designers, where I come from the construction business background and have been part of startup school and accelerator program at Udaipur, Ahmedabad, and Startup Nexus under US Embassy. My co-founder Lokesh Puri has 2 years of experience in project management consultancy and have worked with the contractors like L&T. And we have Harshad, who looks after the internal operations and have 2 years of experience in the background. And currently we are incubated under Nidhi scheme at Kolkata, CIE, which is at Ahmedabad, at Anand National University Venture Center, and under the accelerator program of Brigade, which is one of the largest real estate developer based in Bangalore. And we have onboard mentors who comes from the polymer industry and business background, from the in the real estate background, and are helping us in scaling up. We have recently secured $90K dollars for the pilot launch, and have for developing up the pilot plant, which have the capacity of 500 bricks per day. And after achieving our milestone with this amount of funding, and in next 8 months, we plan to raise our series round, which will be around 250K to develop the commercial plant, having the capacity of around 8,000 to 10,000 bricks per day. So our impact after commercialization of the 12 months is that we can recycle around 3,050 ton of waste, and reducing the carbon emission of 150 ton, and providing affordable, sustainable houses without using a single drop of water, saving 90% of the land and biodiversity, and creating 6+ direct opportunities. These are some of the recognition of bricks. It has been internationally recognized by the platform like the US Embassy, Habitat for Humanity, American Society for Mechanical Engineers, and on the platform of Asia Pacific Housing Forum by the Switch Asia and Habitat, and have been also featured on the national and international newspaper and articles, and on the platform like Ubuntu and Engineering for Change. So at last, I would say that we are on a mission of improving the world brick by brick and look forward for our support. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Kulpreet. Can we stop your sharing and we can start with the judges Q&A. Aryan, can you set the timer on for the jury Q&A? Let me start with Ritu this time. Ritu, your question, please.
So I think it's a great concept. You know, my own father has been running brick kilns, and you're completely right that, you know, it's a very polluting industry, and of course there is maximum usage of coal. And then, of course, it runs into all kind of regulation hurdles from, you know, from the FTI and all kinds of bodies coming in and having their own sort of certification. So what you build certainly will add weight. But, you know, tell me this, that, I mean, considering that your model looks very robust to me, and then, of course, you're planning to give out the license, you're planning to sort of white label it and put out the license and have a franchise model, which will anyway sort of, you know, bring you all the capital that you require now that you have sort of made the technology. So why don't you remain bootstrapped? Why do you want to raise capital at all?
Because we also want to first create a brand value before we go for franchisee business model, and so for you know, marketing and creating that brand value, so that is for the raising the funding. And firstly, if we want to create our first commercial plan, we would be needing funding for that, and then later we can go for
manufacturing.
Ritu, can you just move on to the Q&A questions? No statement, please. Yeah, thank you. Can you just complete the question, please? Thank you.
No, so I was saying that this is a B2B manufacturing franchise, so it does not need that kind of branding. So, I mean, you might want to, you know, honestly, I understand the need for raising capital, but it may not be necessarily important. So you might want to reconsider capital raise.
Yeah. Can we move on to Rajiv with the next question? Rajiv, your question, please.
So, Kunjpreet, few questions. Do you have a proprietary formulations for your bricks? And since you said there is 20% plastic, is it also fire retardant, right? And the last is beyond brick spot, because it's a cyclical industry.
To question your query related to the fire retardant, so according to the Indian standard code, the building material should able to retain the fire up to 4 hours, and we have able to achieve 2.5 to 3 hours, and we are still doing some research for adding some polymers into it to increase that capacity. So that is under control, and yes, we do have a proprietary composition. We plan to, like, we are still figuring out to keep it as a trade secret or file a patent for that as well. So that is still we are figuring out for the composition, but we have patent pending for the technology.
Cool. Valerie, your question, please.
Yeah, I saw in the chart that you did the 4 square, you talked about a couple of the different competitors, but there's a whole lot more competitors in the space, even ones that shape them almost in Lego format. There's a lot of competitors in the space. Do they generally fall into certain groups, and what is the true proprietary, and you don't have to give me your trade secret, but is it the water usage, is it the speed of making?
Yes, I agree. Globally, there are more competitors. If I not only talk about India, but yes, so they use a similar mechanism which is used in plastic molding industry, which is like screw mechanism. And here we have developed our own mechanism inspired from the asphalt and cement factories, and have came up with our own specification and design. So we have technology difference there.
Shankar, your question?
Yeah. So you're saying the first year you want to achieve 1.75 million bricks. For that, what is the cost of the plant? Because the capex intensive, what is the cost of the plant, anticipated cost? You arrived at 6 rupees a brick, but what is your profit and what is the cost of the plant?
So that is around, for setting up the plant is around 70-80 lakhs, including the human resource, land and machinery cost, and other is the total cost we require $1.5K for the working capital as well, and the like sales and marketing, all those things as well. And manufacturing cost per brick is 2.6 rupees, and we sell it the raw material cost is 2.6 rupees, like, and we sell it like up to 6 with rupees. So it has like 43% of the gross margin straight.
Any more questions, Ritu? Last question if you have any, or else we'll wind up. Thank you so much, Kunjpreet. Judges, you may start scoring. Aryan, can you remove Kunjpreet from spotlight? Ritu, Valerie, Rajiv, and Shankar, you can start scoring. In the meanwhile, let me get Sarah back on spotlight. Add spotlight. Hey, Sarah, all good with the internet? The concrete jungles of New York, huh?
Yeah, yes, thank you. Sorry, it always seems to cut out when you need it most.
Oh, that's okay. India is very, very far away, so I think understandable. Cool. Why don't you start screen sharing? And Dr. Lopez, I may need you here to take an executive decision, if that's what we call this. Will Sarah start from the beginning, or she can start from where she left off?
Just start from where you left off, please.
Okay,
Cool.
great. And was that, I think that was when I was talking about the emotional scoring, right?
Yes, around 2.5 minutes once after you started.
Reason
Okay.
being is the speaker that's coming up has a hard stop. So I just told him, give it a few minutes. So, yep.
Nope.
Sarah,
Yeah.
breathe again. What? Let's see a good
Okay.
deep breath. Even though I know
Awesome.
the New York or Philly or Pittsburgh air isn't as good as you would like it. So you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Dr. Lopez, once again, let me check if the judges have scored. They haven't scored yet, Dr. Lopez.
And
We've got a speaker. Thomas has a hard stop. Can we run and
cool.
do
Okay.
No, we're
And
almost.
is the time clock on?
No, not yet. Hold a second.
We're good.
Wonderful.
Sarah,
Sarah, you can start now, and you'll have to
Great.
close at when the time is 2.5 minutes left. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Go ahead, Aryan. Video, please.
Alrighty, thank you everyone for your patience. So what does it mean to be an emotional process? The item on the left was, actually, I think I went through this. Is that correct? No, okay, so the item on the left is an 1800-year-old piece of fabric, primarily sitting in my grandfather's library. And the item on the right is a picture that was sitting next to my grandma for many years. And now I want you to stop and think about how my aunts and uncles might have bid on each of these items. As you might expect, my aunts and uncles had a higher rate of bidding on the item on the right because it had so much sentimental value. Having visited my grandma for many times, chatting with her about their life highs and lows. So this process is inherently emotional. And so when we did a round robin with my aunts and uncles, they came to the process very emotionally charged, which was anxiety inducing and led to poor decision making. And when we offered to do a round with NEMU, they were able to do the entire distribution process from the convenience of their own home, viewing all the items from their iPhone or web desktop. And plus, our algorithm took all of their scores and customized bundles so that they got goods that were fairly distributed and maximized their happiness. So as you might suspect, the satisfaction scores were much higher for NEMU. And that's exactly what we're going to capitalize on. We're going to capitalize on customization and convenience because nobody else in the market is doing so. Some providers are offering sophisticated splitting, but not intuitive cataloging. Others are doing cataloging, but not sophisticated splitting. And others on the market are just doing cataloging. With NEMU, we're going to streamline the entire process so that our users preserve their emotional and financial capital. And we have a fast growing opportunity given the aging population. Our total addressable market is $3 trillion for the total value of personal assets that are set to transfer in the next 10 years. If you zoom in within that, there's a $100 billion market for households earning between $100K and $10 million. Based on our interviews, we found that this would be our sweet spot for providing our services. And within that, there's a $10 billion market for families that are engaging in estate planning services such as wealth managers and estate lawyers. And so our go-to-market strategy will be centered around the user. We'll engage those key B2B partners such as wealth managers and estate lawyers because they're seeking a solution to improve their customer experience. Meanwhile, their clients will trust their opinion and advice. We will also do direct-to-consumer marketing to reach users that aren't currently using professionals and create awareness and educate the market that our solution exists. We'll offer a freemium model which will accelerate adoption, but our pricing will reinforce it. Our direct-to-consumer and B2B packages will allow users to catalog for free, but for our direct-to-consumer clients, they'll have a choice between 3 different products depending on the complexity of their estate. Users can anticipate saving between 20 to 30 hours per beneficiary and 3 to 4 hours of professional fees. This value far outweighs the cost of any of our products. And for our B2B partnerships, we'll offer them our premium package, allowing their clients unlimited support. This will align incentives between NEMU and our partners to ensure their clients have a seamless customer experience. Meanwhile, they'll have 3 to 4 hours freed up to reallocate on higher ROI work. As we're going to grow our partnerships and product suite in the next 5 years. Today, we have an app and algorithm built on a no-code platform and have completed our first pilot. We have 3 pending B2B partnerships that we're ready to execute on. In 2023, we want to continue building these B2B partnerships, build a homegrown app, and hit our first 10,000 clients. By 2024, we want to continue this momentum, hit 30,000 clients, and pilot new products. And in 2025 and beyond, we want to launch those new products, such as instant appraisals in an online estate sale market, while growing our existing and new partnerships. And all of this will improve our unit and business economics. We anticipate a $70 customer acquisition fee or cost in 2022. But by reaching 100,000 users and engaging those key B2B partners, we'll reduce this to $13. And this will all correlate to a $70 million EBITDA by 2026 and a CLV of 2.5K. And I'm happy to go into this further during Q&A. Our leadership is motivated by personal and professional experience. I spoke a little bit about my personal experience, but professionally, I spent almost 10 years working across healthcare in small and large organizations, both domestically and abroad. Prior to starting my MBA at Wharton, I was head of operations at a digital health startup providing online treatment for opioid use disorder. I helped scale the startup from pre-seed to post-Series A and scaled it nationally during a pandemic. Professor Featherstone, who teaches economics at the Wharton School, has been advising us on our algorithm development. He's done consulting for other organizations that are deploying similar algorithms, but for just different use cases. And he'll continue to provide this oversight in the future. I've been bootstrapping the startup to date and engaged Mark Rayula as a freelance consultant to help with our product development. He's an expert in the no-code platform that we've used. And in his day job, he's a professor of chemistry in France. Which brings me to my ask. The TiE Global Pitch Competition funds are critical for our launch. We want to spend $20,000 of the award on building out our founding team. We'll hire our founding team on a part-time basis and then seek to bring them on full-time. Meanwhile, we want to leverage the TiE network to find our technical co-founder. We'll spend $15,000 on marketing. For our B2B efforts, we'll attend conferences such as the National Estate Planning Conference this fall and continue doing outreach to folks in our network. Meanwhile, we'll also do direct-to-consumer marketing, learning key strategies that will help us capture users even quicker, and that'll be in conjunction with building out our brand identity. Lastly, we'll spend $15K on product development, where we'll automate the client onboarding process, allowing us to scale more easily and introduce the AI components I spoke about earlier. This will improve our customer experience. All of these efforts will contribute to our first 100 to 150 clients and build a pipeline of 1,000 clients in the next 3 months. These milestones are critical for us to feed into our milestones going into the future as well. So thank you for your patience, and I'll welcome any questions. Please join us as we split property, not relationships.
Wonderful. Judges, let's start off with the Q&A. Aryan, can you reset and put the Q&A timer on? Wonderful. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start with Valerie this time. Valerie, your question, please.
I love your tagline. You showed us some data related to your personal experience, your family experience. Do you have other client or other family related data, or do you have anybody beta testing this? I'm sorry if I missed it.
No problem. I may have skipped that given the interruptions, but I've done interviews and customer surveys with close to 50 target customers, all resembling a similar experience to my parents or my mom's family. And I have about 5 interested users that I'll be bringing on board in the next couple of weeks.
So mostly surveys of, would you like to have a tool like this? How did it go? Not so much having gone through the experience itself.
Right. We did surveys and interviews, and then served and built the product around this first user and based on those interview feedbacks.
Cool. Rajiv, your question, please.
Sarah, great problem that you're solving. I have 2 questions. One, can you walk us through the logic of the algorithm that will assign the emotional value or the financial value? 2, what is the universe of family assets that you plan to cover under my name?
Right. So for the algorithm, the logic is basically everyone submits their emotional value, a score between 0 to 100, 100 indicating that they want it the most. Then our algorithm takes those scores and creates a market price. And based on that market price, every user has an equal budget. And then the algorithm acts on behalf of each user based on the scores they've submitted and their relative distance from each other, kind of conveying how much they want something. So the algorithm will know to bid on it or not. And then everybody ends up with the same emotional value of goods at the end of it. And then for your second question, the world of assets, this is really just personal property, but there is an opportunity to expand into the other asset classes that I talked of earlier, which touch more on financial assets. And we've stayed away from that because there's a little less friction in that customer journey right now, and it has a little bit more barriers to entry.
Sounds good. Just a follow-on question, if I may, on the personal assets. You're assigning an emotional score, right? And one, do you see if there could be any possible clash in the claim stroke title stroke wanting 2 people wanting to have it at the same time? 2, would that probably lead to an auctionable value?
Yeah, so what we've done and decided to do is for assets over a certain dollar value set by the family, those will be set aside and, the family votes on selling or keeping. And then the beauty of the algorithm is that actually, there is, and this is what NEMU stands for, is Nash Equilibrium Maximizes Utility. There is no other bundle of goods that the individual would prefer. So there's no world in which they would want to trade one item that they have over the other.
Wonderful. Shankar, your question, please.
You partially answered my question, especially high monetary value. How would your emotional value and the appraised value, let's say they decide to keep a product because it's a painting or whatever it is, and emotional value is almost tied in. How does the algorithm decide, or you would have set it up earlier itself saying, I'm going to sell it, not trade, but the family, somebody doesn't want to sell it. What happens?
Yeah, exactly. So the family would need to decide what assets to put in the pool to split just based on emotional value. And what we found from our surveys and from my family is there was a general threshold. And I think in the future, as we bring in the instant appraisal product, that will help with that decision making because people will have a more accurate price point to reference instead of kind of gauging it based on the original price and factoring in depreciation and whatnot.
Okay. Thank you.
Ritu, your question, please.
So Sarah, I don't know whether and I don't understand American law that much, but just for my understanding, we see that the estate laws keep changing quite rapidly. So there are a lot of taxations that keep changing, and worldwide we are seeing a trend where, you know, the larger part of the estate is actually going to the government versus the person who's inheriting it. So now, given these changes of laws, have you factored this within the algorithm? And now, given the fact that, you know, if there is more taxes that happen, would your platform be as interesting to use for somebody who is inheriting, or, you know, for the entire process?
Yeah, great question. And we've looked into that, especially with our state lawyer partners. And I feel like that is why, you know, entering with this kind of emotional value product first will be a kind of de-risked product to enter with, given the changing landscape. And because these assets are unpriced, their tax implications they don't impact them. Of course, they do for the higher priced appraised assets, which, you know, as we generate revenue, we'll be able to reallocate resources to doing more investigation into.
Cool. That's it, Sarah. Your time's up. And the moral of the story from Sarah is thou shall love your neighbor's Wi-Fi, right? Yeah. So whenever the neighbor's Wi-Fi is working and you love the neighbor, you get Wi-Fi for free. Thank you so much, Sarah. In spite of the challenges, you are here smiling away. Judges, you may start scoring. And since we are running neck to neck on the timing, it's my pleasure to put on spotlight our guest for the day, Thomas Healy. Thomas, if you could just put your video on.
Hello, hopefully you can see me now.
Yes, Thomas. There are a lot of people who are waiting to see you. Aryan, yep. Can you? Oh, Thomas doesn't need a timer. He's the guest. You'll get me off my job, huh, Aryan? Good. Wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, meet Thomas Healy. Aryan, can you put the slide on so I can introduce Thomas? Thomas, thank you so much for being here with us. And wonderful to have you here. Thomas is, your fame precedes you, the youngest billionaire, and more than that, what really connects all of us to you is you are a collegiate entrepreneur who has made it really big in life. So there are quite a lot of people who are looking up to you. Aryan, if you could move to the next slide and put the video. So we will put the video and introduce Thomas to our audience. Wonderful. Let me remove myself from Spotlight. Yep, video on, please. Coming in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Audio, please. Aryan, unmute.
While in Carnegie Mellon University, where he was pursuing degrees in mechanical engineering, and public policy, Mr. Thomas Healy founded 2 companies. It was also around this time that Mr. Healy developed the e-axle that could be incorporated on a long-haul truck. In 2015, he founded his company, Hyliion. Short for hybrid, lithium, and ion, Hyliion creates and commercializes a regenerative brake device that can be installed on long-haul trucks and reduces fuel use by 30%. Hyliion went public in 2020. Much before the Cleantech University Prize, NASA Tech Briefs, and the Stevie Awards, to name just a few, this ambitious entrepreneur, former race car driver, and self-confessed gearhead knew that real change is possible and necessary. His company and his work is a testament to this belief. Mr. Thomas Healy.
Wonderful. Thank you, Thomas, for joining us. And it's really a pleasure to have you here today. Would you like to do your screen share and do your presentation, or you would want us to share the slides from our side? And then we can go into the Q&A. A lot of people with a lot of questions for you.
Yeah, if you've got the slides, I'll let you guys share them, and then I'll run through.
Wonderful. Aryan, can you just get yourself on Spotlight again with the slides? Let me put that on Spotlight. Wonderful. Let me take myself off Spotlight. You can see your slides, Thomas?
I can, yes.
Cool. Okay. Let me move. Yeah, we will start off. Oh, sorry.
What?
Yeah, play, please. Play.
We live in an increasingly connected world, one where convenience is at the heart of every interaction. One simple click and your order is on the way. From across the world to your front door in record time. While progress provides many benefits, it also comes at an unsustainable cost. Each year, heavy-duty trucking consumes over 38 billion gallons of diesel fuel in the United States alone, making the industry one of the fastest-growing sources of greenhouse gas emissions. It creates a massive carbon footprint and imposes an everyday tax on this planet we call home. We are Hyliion, an innovative company with big ambitions, born from the idea that real change is both necessary and possible. A company built around a vision for a safe and sustainable future that improves the lives of people, all while reducing their impact on the environment. A company that recognized the urgent need to effectively reduce the amount of pollution caused by the most necessary of industries. At Hyliion, we don't make trucks, we transform them to be part of the solution. With two powertrain systems designed to improve performance and lower the cost of ownership, Hyliion is ready to jumpstart the trucking industry's path to electrification. The demand for commercial transportation shows no sign of slowing down, and creating sustainable trucking fleets is vital to reducing the industry's carbon footprint. At Hyliion, we're not just changing the industry, we're changing the world, one truck at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Healy for you. Oops. Yep, Thomas, all yours.
Terrific. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. Looking forward to sharing a little bit about our journey. As was mentioned, Hyliion really came out of a very similar journey that you guys are all on, where I was in college and had this idea of, why don't we go electrify trucking? And then we're now about 7 years later here. We've grown to a couple hundred people in the organization. We've raised over $750 million to get to where we are. And now we're also publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. So what started very much as something that, was my, I found it in my apartment while I was in college. We've now grown into, something that when you look back is pretty surreal. So what I want to do is just kind of start off with a little bit of background on Hyliion. I'm going to very briefly touch on it just so you know kind of the journey I went through. And then I'm going to transition to some of the big learnings that I've had as I've gone down this journey and some of the big takeaways. So to start this off, the mission of Hyliion is to become the leading provider of electrified powertrain solutions for the commercial vehicle industry. And we see that the biggest way to do this is you got to focus on three key things. You got to reduce emissions, you got to lower your total cost of ownership, and you need to leverage infrastructure that's already in place. Electrifying the commercial vehicle space is actually extremely difficult, but I'll show you why we think we have a very competitive edge in order to be able to do so. So a little bit of background, I covered these already, but the core thing at our company is really technology. We see that our differentiator is bringing battery technology, software solutions, full integrated powertrain solutions forward. And ultimately, we believe that we have IP and core product differentiation compared to some of the legacy players in this space. And then we're also located down in Austin, Texas, for anyone who might be in the area. But ultimately, we have two different products that we're bringing to market. The first is our hybrid system, which is an add-on that you can see on the left-hand side of the screen that you put onto a conventional truck. And this can reduce fuel consumption, also reduce emissions for the drivers. So best way to think about this is it's like a large Toyota Prius. And then on the right-hand side of the slide is our Hypertruck ERX, which is a fully electric drivetrain. And then as opposed to plugging into the grid to actually recharge the battery pack, we use an onboard generator that can run on natural gas or various fuel sources in order to recharge the batteries as you're going. So what we're effectively doing is bringing forward all the benefits of electric, but without the downsides. And that's what really transitions us into those three key points that I mentioned at the beginning: cost, infrastructure, and emissions. And what we found is that by leveraging natural gas on board the vehicle to recharge the battery as you're driving, you actually come out ahead in all three of these categories. So when you look at fuel price, it's lower than what diesel, what hydrogen, or even what grid electricity costs today. When you look at fueling infrastructure, we're leveraging over 700 already existing natural gas stations that are already built out across the US. And then when we look at emissions, there's actually a mega trend going on in natural gas, which is called renewable natural gas, which is the process of capturing methane and emissions coming off of landfills and dairy farms and wastewater treatment plants, and actually using that as a fuel on board the truck in order to recharge the battery pack. And by doing so, we actually have the capability to have net carbon negative or even below zero emissions profiles, because effectively we're taking pollution to run the truck. Now, as many of you have probably heard, though, there's also this euphoria solution of hydrogen fuel cell, and that's where a lot of people believe the industry is heading, and we believe that as well. The problem, though, is no one can really answer when is that going to happen. Hydrogen fuel cells have kind of been the technology that's a decade away for the last 3 or more decades. And so what we've done is laid out a logical approach on how we get to hydrogen fuel cell. And that encapsulates starting with natural gas in an internal combustion engine, moving to a fuel agnostic generator, and then ultimately going to a pure hydrogen-based future. And we see this as really the logical way to get to hydrogen, as opposed to just jumping there today or attempting to. All right, so that's a little bit on the company. I figured it was just helpful to have the background of how we got to where we are. But ultimately, you guys are all in a situation where you have this idea, you have this company, you're starting, you're getting off the ground. And I'm sure many of you are kind of in this situation where you're not really sure what the future is going to hold. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. There's the question of, should I even be doing this? Do I have the right idea? And ultimately, there's some big things that I learned going through the Hyliion journey. The first here is really product evolution. So when I was in your guys' shoes about 7 years ago, the product was an idea of putting an axle on a trailer and using that to reduce fuel consumption. As you can see from the overview I just gave, we've evolved a lot. We now do full electric powertrains for the actual truck. And so one of the key things here is the idea you have today may not be what the company is going to be in 5-10 years. But the key thing is that you need to be willing to evolve and pivot and change as you see the industry changing. One thing that I couldn't foresee 7 years ago in trucking was how fast the industry was going to want to move to electrification. I kind of figured fleets would want to adopt hybrid technology first and then gradually move into full electric vehicles. The reality is we're at a point today where there's so much tailwind around electrification that they want to get there today. So my message for all of you here is embrace the change, embrace pivoting, be very in tune with what's going on in the markets in your specific industry, and be willing to shift and evolve your company through that journey in order to capitalize on it most. Because if we had just stayed a hybrid trailer company, we wouldn't be nearly as successful and potentially not even around if we had stayed on that journey as opposed to pivoting and changing to what we are today. So the next big thing that I'm sure most of you are looking at, although I did appreciate the question that someone put out there is, well, why even raise? Why not just go grow it, bootstrap it, and grow it on your own? So if you can go grow it and bootstrap it on your own, absolutely go do that. But obviously there is the right time, the right place to bring in capital. And it's when you see that it can greatly accelerate your business. For us, we're an extremely capital intensive business. We're developing a new vehicle technology, and thus we've raised a significant amount of capital along the way. So there's really two stories that I want to share on investments. The first is you're at this stage today where you're likely gaining attention and attraction from investors who will be along this journey with you for a very long time. A couple of examples there is, when I first started Hyliion, I first pitched it at the Rice Business Plan competition. And we walked away with some investors at that competition that ultimately invested in every single one of these rounds going forward when we were private. So the people you're meeting in this very early stage will be with you on this journey for a while. So make great relationships there. And then similarly, when I was at some of these early competitions, I actually met some people who ended up investing in Hyliion later on in the journey. So while it wasn't the right time or fit in the early years when we were doing a seed round, some of them came in, one of them was as large as a $5 million check in a Series A round later on. So the people you meet now, you need to garner and foster those relationships and keep them as you're going forward, because you never know when they might be able to have an impact for your organization. And the other thing I just want to cover on investments as well is make sure you have backup plans. One of the things that I learned through going through raising capital is you need to have multiple paths that you can head in order to be able to fund the organization. Because dynamics change. You might think that you're on a journey where you found your lead and you're going to go close around with them. But, it might come down to the end of the day, a day before you're supposed to close your investment, that the, managing firm or the partner, at the organization is going to invest in you for whatever reason, decides that they can't do it anymore. And so you need to have multiple backup plans as you're going out and raising funding. And this also gives you leverage, and significant amount of leverage if you have multiple options, to be able to really negotiate the best valuation for your company. So then onto the slide that's on the screen now, traction. So one of the big things I took away through this journey is ultimately customers, suppliers, investors, they all want to see traction. They all want to see the progress that you're making. They want to see, have you hit the key milestones that you laid out 6 months ago? And did you overachieve on them potentially? And that's a big thing that, people are going to watch for as you're going through this journey to see, are you doing a good job? Are you growing the organization as you said you would? And are you ultimately someone that they're going to want to partner with? And don't just look at it as purely from an investor standpoint. Frankly, your customers are going to look for the same thing as well. If you say to a customer, you're going to release a product on this date, and ultimately you're 6 months late on it, that's going to give them some question as to whether or not you're a company they want to work with. And so make sure you build strong relationships with them, and ultimately hit the key milestones and lay out achievable milestones in order to those parties that you're engaging with. And then ultimately, this is kind of the last slide on some of the big learnings, but the question I get the most is, oh, what's it like being public? Well, it's fantastic. It was an amazing move for Hyliion. If I went back to 2020, I would absolutely do it again. But the reality is the markets have changed significantly. And one of the key learnings from this is you need to capitalize on the opportunities that are ahead of you today, because they might not be there tomorrow. So the example of this is we went public at a very opportune time. It allowed us to raise a good amount of capital in order to bring our products to commercialization. But the markets have changed drastically. And today, many companies are choosing to keep their company private because the public markets just aren't the right space to be in right now if you're just becoming a new public company. So the moral of the story there is capitalize on what's ahead of you or available to you today. I've seen many instances of entrepreneurs trying to over-optimize or say, hey, I'll wait another 3 months before I raise capital because I don't need it right now. I need funding in 6 months, not right now. And so I'll wait 3 months and then I'll raise. Well, ultimately, you don't know what the markets are going to be like in 3 months. Your company may have made some significant progress and advancements, but maybe the investor base isn't going to be there. We're in very volatile times. There's a lot of the last couple of years, there's been a lot of capital that needs to be put to work, but ultimately, we don't know what the future holds. So, as a founder and a CEO, I strongly encourage you to take advantage of the strong opportunities when they're in front of you, as opposed to trying to over-optimize to wait for what's ahead. So with that, the key learnings that I've come up with is, make sure you lay out a clear vision for your team. Always have backup plans. Hire for where you're heading, not for where you are today, because ultimately you want to surround yourself with people that can bring you forward in the journey. not just evolve where you are at today's stance in your evolution. Embrace the pivot, because ultimately you need to evolve and change with the product markets. Be your own salesman, because you're not only going to be the front runner in front of customers, in front of investors, you're really going to be the spokesperson for this organization, and don't rely on others to do that for you. And then lastly, maintain your relationships. And I'll tie a story into this. Is coming out of those early business plan competitions, as I mentioned before, we made great relationships. And frankly, I didn't stay in touch with all of them, all the individuals there. Well, it turns out that they remembered Hyliion in some instances where I hadn't kept on following up and kept a relationship there. So, just imagine if you do keep these relationships going, how many doors these individuals can open up for you. You're at a point today, you're in a program today where people want to help you succeed, and you should leverage and capitalize on those relationships and stay in touch. People want to hear how your company is progressing, and ultimately, if you bring them along for this journey, they'll probably try to help you with it along the way. So I know you mentioned there was some Q&A. I'm happy to answer whatever questions you guys have. So I'll pause there and open it up.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let me put that last slide on. So there's a formal thank you from Hyliion as well. Aryan, why don't you put me on spotlight? Good. Thomas, thank you so much, firstly, for being here. Like I said, you are an inspiration, especially with the context that these are all collegiate entrepreneurship. So let's get into some Q&A. The first question that comes from Rakesh Kumar is, you have innovated the transmission, which runs on battery, so thus saving fuel. I don't know whether that's a question or it's a statement, but I think he wants to ask you, what is the basic premise behind Hyliion?
Yeah, so we're developing the entire powertrain of the vehicle. So there are some other competitors out there that do it today, but with diesel engines. So for instance, Cummins or Detroit, or in the past used to be Caterpillar, would actually develop the powertrain of the truck. We're a new powertrain provider, and our sole focus is on electric powertrains. So we design and develop the entire drive system. So we integrate e-axles with batteries, within that onboard generator that charges the battery pack as you're driving. So ultimately, we're not a vehicle maker, though, and that's what some people will confuse us with. They say, oh, you make the whole truck. And the reality is we don't. We just make the powertrain in the vehicle, and then we partner with the truck makers like the Daimlers, the Volvos, the Packars of the world, in order to actually deliver our technology to the fleets.
Wonderful. The next question is from our friend from Houston. So I think there's the Texas connect. What is your educational background, and how do you find this problem to solve?
Sorry, the first part of it was, what was my
educational background?
Sure. Yeah. So I went to Carnegie Mellon up in Pittsburgh, and I studied engineering. I did an undergrad there, as well as stayed on for my master's program. I was studying in undergrad mechanical engineering, as well as engineering and public policy, which is looking at how you take engineering solutions and bring them to the real world. And then stayed on for a master's in mechanical engineering as well. Ultimately didn't finish. I think I had 2 classes left maybe. And that's when I was starting Hyliion, and decided, let's go do this. Let's not wait another semester to finish out the graduate program.
Wonderful. This question is from a participant, Sarah Powers from New York. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you sharing your insights. Can you speak about how you have reconciled staying true to your vision for Hyliion in instances where investors encourage you to deviate from it? I think a question that most startups want to ask.
Yeah, so it's a great point, because one of the things that I've even faced many times is that you might have investors that want you to take the company in different directions from each other of where they want to go, and it might be different than the path that you want to take your company. A lot of this comes down to communication and showing the logical path of where you're heading. So you're going to get it time and time again. Investors are going to throw ideas at you, or board members are going to throw ideas at you of where you should head. You need to take these ideas, take them seriously, and think about, is this the right path for you? But ultimately, as the founder, the CEO, it's up to you to decide where you take this company and get those around you bought into it. So let's say, an investor, you want to head down path A, an investor gives you a path B, and another investor gives you a path C. And let's say you're bullish on path A is the right one. Well, the onus is on you in order to go back to those investors that want to go B and C and present them why it's a logical and practical solution to go path A, and why you're so bullish on it. Now, at the end of the day, you need to convince them that that's the right path for the company. And that kind of goes back to, you need to be your own company's salesperson, because you will get people that say go a lot of different paths. You need to figure out which one is right and go down that path. Now, I will say though, don't be too bullish on your own ideas and your own thought process, because you do need to listen to those around you. A lot of the people that you should be surrounding yourself with have been down this journey time before, and they have good learning. So it's also on you to ask them why they think path B or path C makes the most sense, and you should really strongly consider if it does or not.
Wonderful. Soumya Shukla from Lucknow asks you, what was more critical for you early on in your journey? Getting the right technical team together or the timing of your product?
Yeah, so that's a good question. For us, I'd say, I'm going to say team. And the reason I say that is because honestly, the timing in the market changed so much. And now we're in a position today where there's so much tailwind behind electrification that, and when I started this, I could have never even imagined it being there. So, you can't control the timing as much of where the market is going to be. You obviously strike while the iron's hot, but for me, having the team around me was invaluable. We had some people join our company that were able to shave years, a year, if not more, off of our development cycles, off of the time it took to grow the company. And ultimately, as you're only as good as the team is around you. So you need to surround yourself with people who should be smarter than you in their expertise area, right? You want to bring in people that know more than you do, so that they can help advance the company faster than what you'd be able to do on your own. And so team is everything. And if you can find people who mesh well with your culture and your organization and can bring good experiences, that's a recipe for success.
Which leads me to the next question that probably connects to whatever you said right now. My friend Ravi from Houston says, any advice on picking co-founders or the core team?
Yeah, so co-founders is an interesting thing, because a lot of companies are founded with, a few people have an idea and then ultimately you go start it. Well, what I've seen and found is a lot of times you grow apart as the company grows. I've seen instances where co-founders are not able to keep up with the pace the company is evolving and how fast it's growing. So one thing you need to be comfortable with is not just from a co-founder standpoint, but from an entire team. Your team is going to evolve and change. So the people that you're hiring today probably aren't going to be with you in 3 years and 5 years. In startups, you see a significant amount of turnover just because of how fast the company is growing. And often the company will actually outgrow the people that are within it. And then you need to change out your team. And that's one of the pieces of key learnings that I had shared is hire for where you're going. Because ultimately, if you hire someone, let's say you bring in a chief sales officer that is going to be perfect for where you are today. Well, let's say you're $1 million in revenue right now, and in 2 years, you expect to be at 10 million in revenue. That chief sales officer might not be the right person you're going to need when you're a 10 million in revenue company. You're probably going to be able to track someone that has greater skill sets, greater experience, more experience with leading a team. And so you need to hire for where you're going, not where you are today. And then also be comfortable with that your team will change and evolve as you go through this journey.
Wonderful. Last couple of questions, because I know you have a hard stop. This is from Uroz from Boston. Amazing journey and inspirational talk. I was wondering if you could speak to what kind of traction specifically you showed investors to get them excited and stand behind you for the journey ahead.
Yeah, so ours is really, to use an expression that some of you may have heard, are the dogs eating the dog food is kind of the deal, right? So do people want to buy the product that you're producing? If people don't want it or don't like it, and for our instances, that means do fleets, do the actual people who run these trucks want to buy our product? Are they saying yes? Do they get in the truck, experience it and like it and want to buy these actual assets? And that's been one of the biggest points of traction for us. So there's traction on the sales side. That is, showing the backlog of customer interest and being able to show that to the world that people want this product. But then there's also an element of traction of hitting the milestones that you laid out. Let's say you go speak to an investor and you say, hey, I'm going to go raise funds in a year from now, or let's call it 6 months from now. And over the next 6 months, here are the milestones that I have internally. So let's say you're going to hit a technology milestone. You're going to fill out this role in the organization, and you're going to hit this revenue number. Well, if you could sit down with that individual in 6 months from now when you're actually going to raise, and you can say, yes, I did this, and I hit this, their likelihood of wanting to be a part of this journey with you is so much greater than if you laid out milestones and then you come back and you say, well, we haven't hit those. We had to pivot, we had to change, and we didn't get as far as we wanted to. So ultimately, if you can, kind of lay out those milestones, achieve them, it will give people a lot more confidence to be a part of this journey with you.
Wonderful. So last round of rapid fire questions before I let you have your 2 minutes and you can make your closing statement. So one, the common question that most girls on the call did not want to ask, are you a bachelor, Thomas?
No, I'm not married, but I have a wonderful.
Wonderful. So Mr. Musk has already taken Twitter. So what's your eye set on now?
I guess to be following the footsteps, I got to go to outer space, right? Isn't that the next thing that all these founders are doing?
and in a rocket that runs on batteries, probably. Yep. And last question: did you ever think that you wanted to be a billionaire? Or
so I think you'll find with many founders, they're not driven by money. They're driven by the journey that they're on, and they want to change the world. And for us, that's what we saw. We saw amazing ability to impact the trucking industry, impact emissions. And that's really the driver behind things, not necessarily the monetary side of it.
Wonderful. Any closing statements, Thomas? And can I request you that if our alumni from the TiE University ecosystem reach out to you through LinkedIn, maybe could you mentor a few of them?
Yeah, happy to connect with individuals on LinkedIn. So please feel free to connect with me there. And ultimately, as closing statements, I'll say you guys are all in an amazing position right now where you're starting a company. It's going to be a blast, but ultimately there's going to be a lot of hard days and challenges that you face as well. And realize that you are on a roller coaster journey. Every day is not supposed to be fantastic. Everything's not supposed to go in the direction that you want it to. It is a roller coaster. There are going to be some times where things are absolutely amazing. And there are going to be some days where you think, why did I even start this? Why am I even doing this? But ultimately, keep pushing through, keep evolving the organization, keep making progress. And, if you work hard on it, chances are you're going to have success. And so ultimately keep prevailing because, there are always good days ahead.
Wonderful. And I really need to put this compliment out there to be someone, Forbes 30 under 30 and the younger self-made billionaire. We love the humility that you have brought onto this call, Thomas. It's been a pleasure interacting with you, and we look forward to you coming back to the TiE University ecosystem again and again. Thank you so much, and may you reach for the skies in a battery run rocket for sure.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much. Good luck, everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Can we have a loud round of applause for our friend, probably through your Thomas. Thank you so much, Thomas. It's been a pleasure having you here and hosting you here.
Thank you.
See you. Cool. So with all that inspiration that Thomas has brought our way, it's time now to get into the awards mode. Dr. Lopez, anything that you want to set the context before I get into that? That's a thumbs up. Wonderful. Cool.
I think you ought to play some rousing music or something, but it's drum roll. Let's go.
Yes, let's do that. Let me get my audio sharing. Oh, the challenge is that we are So let's build the TiE. Please put all your videos on. I want all videos on. I am not starting this award ceremony without videos on. I cannot talk to boxes that read names. Put your videos on. Yeah.
No.
I'm sure after no music, you can hear music, right?
Yeah. But I'm thinking, let's take another picture. Gallery on for everybody.
Yeah. Gallery on. Pictures. Picture time. Aryan and Nava, can you just take quick? Let me see those dancing faces. Come on.
Oh, Rina's in it. California time.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you, Veena. Wonderful and lovely to see Professor Jagdish Sheth from Atlanta. Wonderful to see you here, sir. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to speaking to you. So let's take me off spotlight now. Okay, I'm feeling a little sad, but that's okay. And cool. Dr. Lopez, I'm taking you off spotlight as well. Wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the literally the end of the day. It's 11:47 on my clock in India. We're just close to midnight, and we have the results lined up. And to announce the first result, it is my pleasure to invite upon stage Mr. Vijay Menon. Vijay, can you put your camera on so we can put you on spotlight? Aryan, can you just make sure that Vijay is on spotlight? Okay. Yeah, and we need to put this. Vijay, you're on mute. Wonderful. Vijay, you're on spotlight. You're on mute though. No, Vijay, you're on mute. Oh, sorry. My bad. I have to let you unmute yourself. Sorry, Vijay. Yeah.
Thanks, Pradeep. It's my pleasure to announce the best women-led startups. And we have two of them from across the world, one from the East and one from the West. We have Soumya from powered by TiE Lucknow. And
can we put Soumya on spotlight, please?
Dectrocell.
Can we get Soumya on spotlight?
Yes. And we have Sarah from Memu, New York. They are the two winners of the women-led startups in the TiE competition. Congratulations to both of them.
Can we put Sarah and Soumya on spotlight, please, Aryan? Sarah and Soumya, can you put your videos on?
Congrats to both.
More to women power. Soumya, are you here on the call?
Yes,
Soumya Shukla, wonderful. So let's take that photograph. Go for it. Congratulations, ladies. Wonderful. The world of entrepreneurship is so much more blessed because of you people. Thank you so much, Vijay, for announcing the results. Now we can take them off spotlight and to announce. Let me put my music off here. Okay. To announce the next set of awards, I invite upon stage Professor Jagdish Sheth, who will announce the award for best sustainability startups. Aryan, can you put Professor Sheth on spotlight, please? Yeah. Dr. Sheth is on spotlight. Wonderful. No, he's still not on spotlight. It's still the slide that's on spotlight.
Okay.
Wonderful. And put the slide. Yes, Dr. Sheth, all yours.
Thank you. And it's my pleasure to announce actually 3 winners in the sustainability category. Sustainability is an existential threat, especially for emerging economies. Neither technology nor capital will be sufficient. It is really the environment we have to focus on. And I'm so glad that so many teams have competed or have ideas about how to manage the sustainability. So with the drum roll, please show the names of the companies and the teams.
Team Anguirus from Udaipur, Team Backyard Creators from TiE Global NCI Delhi, and Team Agrian. They all win $1,000 each in cash prizes. Can you put all of them on spotlight, please? Anguirus, Backyard, and Agrian. Wonderful. Can we get Anguirus and Agrian from Pune on spotlight, please? Thank you so much, Dr. Sheth. And I must tell these entrepreneurs, you are blessed to be in the same photo frame as this gentleman. one of the Padma Bhushan awardees from India. All the books that you see behind him, most of them have probably been written by him, or he has a foreword or a comment to it. Thank you so much, Professor Sheth, for joining us today. Did we find the other two teams, Angiras and Agriant Aryan? If no, yes. Thank you so much, Kunjpreet. Wonderful to have you here. Ravi Brahmbhatt, if you could just take a screenshot so I have my photographs. Thank you so much, Professor Sheth. Now, moving on to the next category of awards, let me remove these people from Spotlight. Aryan, can you put on Spotlight Miss Veena Gundavelli, who will announce the next set of awards. Veena, if you could put your video on so we can put you on Spotlight. Wonderful, Veena. Veena, all yours. Yes, Veena, you would like to set the context, or you want me to put the names up there?
Could you please put the names up there? I did not have the...
Wonderful. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The two winners of the Best Social Entrepreneurship Awards are Alerti and Oregon, Alerti from Oregon and Healthy Nose from Pittsburgh. Yes, Veena, would you like to just add a note about Touch a Life and the work that you're doing?
Sure. First of all, congratulations to Alerti and
Healthy Nose.
Healthy Nose. It's wonderful to see how you're thinking about making the impact to the world and to the underserved, the community around there. Hearty congratulations. We'll be happy to mentor and help you guys take your startup to the next stage through Touch a Life Foundation.
Thank you so much, Harry. You must pay attention on the road. Cool. Thank you so much, Veena, for being with us, and thank you so much for sponsoring those awards. Wonderful to have you here, Veena, sorry. Okay, now to announce the next set of awards, can I have Ms. Darsi Desai from New York? If you can put your video on, my colleagues will spotlight you, Darsi. Wonderful. The beautiful lady from New York. All yours, Darsi.
Thank you, Pradeep. I don't know how you do what you do, so thank you to the entire TiE team, the global team, Santosh and others, and all the participants. Congratulations. Everyone's a winner. TiE New York decided this year to award a $3,000 cash prize to an enterprise that showcased social impact. Wasn't an easy decision. I, of course, want to say thank you to our board member, mentorship chair, and TiE University lead, Craig Abbott, Harjeet Singh, our vice president, Manjusha Tipre, who's our board member as well, for doing terrific work. I know it was a tall task. We had to go through so many entries. And I want to thank Craig for really setting the criteria so beautifully. I'll just touch upon it briefly. He spent a lot of time on working on this. It wasn't, like I said, an easy decision. We looked at the past, the current, and the future. The company should have delivered some measurable positive results on people, communities, and society. The application shows the quantitative and qualitative results already achieved. The company will deliver in the second quarter of 22 and into 23 measurable positive results on people, communities, and society. And the company has a good mix of societal value creation and business capabilities. And there is a reasonable likelihood the company will be around for the next several years. So thank you, Craig. And it was a great honor to look at all the companies. Our unanimous decision on the winner, it's one winner, Pradeep, and I know you have the announcement there. It is Abilitaire.
Can we put Abilitaire on Spotlight, please? Yes, team Abilitaire here. Please put your videos on. Let's put you on Spotlight. Wonderful, and I hope you have more and more impact on the world. And may these $3,000 be a small fuel to take this forward, or rather big fuel. I think Abilitaire is not here. So thank you so much, Darthi. Thank you so much, New York. Wonderful that you have done this for the TiE University ecosystem. Cool. Now, let's move. Can we remove Darthi and Craig from Spotlight? Okay, yep, wonderful. And now to announce the next set of prize money and prizes, we have Karan Rathuri, General Manager from USA, sponsor from UpGrad International. UpGrad International has 2 million plus learners across 100 plus countries. with 300 plus university partners and ranks #1 in LinkedIn's top startup list India in 2020. Karan, any starting notes that you would like to add? And then we will move into the prizes.
Thanks, Pradeep. Hi, pleasure to be here in this great company, and a big congratulations to all the teams competing from all over the world. It is quite a feat to be here, and my pleasure to be in your company. I just wanted to mention a few words about why UpGrad has sponsored TiE this year. UpGrad has the ambition to bring access to high quality education to students all over the world. And TiE has the ambition to foster entrepreneurship globally. And I think we just, those are, two sides of the same coin, and building some foundational knowledge as you pursue an entrepreneurial journey, that much enhances your likelihood of success. So we're just very happy to be here. UpGrad obviously has its roots in India, and I am happy to be leading their North American operations. So thanks, Pradeep, and thanks all for having us here, and happy to move on to the next set of prizes.
Cool. So Karan, yes, Karan.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, so, there are 18 semifinalist winners. I won't name them all, but a huge congratulations to all 18 teams that were selected from over 1,455 teams. And a big congrats for winning this $850 cash prize. And I wish you all the best in the next leg of your journey.
Wonderful. Those are the teams that get those $850. I know one of them was asking me this question, so I am sure he would be very happy to hear that. And thank you, Karan. It's because of benevolent sponsors like your company that we are able to sustain this voluntary effort and make the best justice for students and teams. Thank you so much, Karan. Now it's time to move on to the finalist awards. Can I request Mr. Ashwin Pupala, Chief Integration Officer, DevFi, to come on Spotlight? Can we get Ashwin on Spotlight, please? Mr. Ashwin, if you're here, can you just put your video on Spotlight? I am not able to see Ashwin here, so can't see Ashwin here. So maybe can we request someone else? Dr. Lopez, can you, maybe I'll ask one of our judges here to do the honors. Rajiv, if you can be spotlighted. Can you spotlight Rajiv? Yeah. Wonderful, Rajiv is spotlighted. Rajiv, there are 9 teams. Sorry, I'm sorry. There are 3 teams or 9 teams. Okay. I think
basically, Rajiv, you're going to announce 3 of the finalists, not the ones you judged, but and then another gentleman will announce 6.
Cool.
Those were the ones that made the finals. So all yours.
Wonderful.
Rajiv.
Yes, Rajiv.
Unmute. Yeah.
Great, great to be in this company, and we saw some great, very, very promising entrepreneurs solving, disruptive spaces, I would say. And the finalists, I think there's one which I can read, honestly. You just...
Yeah, that's Healthy Nose, Bright Owl, and Spectre Automation from Germany.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. Can we put Spectre also on Spotlight? You each take away $1,250 home. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And now to introduce the next set of teams, I call upon Mr. Sid Mukherjee. Can we have Sid on Spotlight, please? Yes, Sid. Yes, Sid, you are on Spotlight. Thank you so much for joining us, Sid.
Sure.
All yours.
Okay. Well, first of all, what an impressive group of pitchers here, and Pradeep, you and Dr. Paul Lopez, and so many other, organizers. I mean, what a fabulous job you guys have done. This is not easy, and everybody knows that. So thank you for all the great work you're doing. I am representing TiE Atlanta, and I must say that we are so proud of what has happened with TiE University over the years. From the time that Paul first launched the idea. And what a great way to kind of achieve our goals of fostering entrepreneurship right from school and college and so on and so forth. So Very well done, guys. And of course, congratulations to all the teams. And happy to announce the finalists from the 1,455 teams. These are the 6. I know a couple of these. Gently Soap from Atlanta. I'm glad that you made it to the finals, which is not insignificant. Simply Works from the Carolinas. You guys are also a part of our Access program. So congratulations to you. Invictus from New Jersey. Okay. Backyard Creators, is it? From
yes.
Okay.
Delhi.
Okay. And then the
Brisket from Rajasthan.
Thank you.
And Park Stash from Silicon Valley.
Thank you. Yeah, because the font was getting smaller and smaller, Pradeep. So I couldn't.
Yes.
Well, congratulations to all of you. This is awesome, guys. Thanks.
Cool. Can we put all of them on spotlight? Those who are here for a picture with Mr. Sid Mukherjee. Thank you, Sid, for everything that you do from Atlanta and the Atlanta Foundation towards entrepreneurship. Thank you so much, guys. Wonderful. So now we come to the point where it's D-Day. Aryan, can you remove all these gentlemen from spotlight, and can you get Mr. Raghu Chittimala? Oops, I think my slides have not gotten updated. One second. Yeah, I will have to do that. Hold a second. Come on, wait. Anil, ready to go? Escape. One slide more. Kilo. That very good. So, I'm glad to technology that you can change people's faces in an instant. What if that had happened on the stage, right? I would have had to give those awards. Anyway, can I call up on stage Mr. Raghu Chittimala, CEO and Managing Director, Techstar Group, to announce the 3rd prize. Mr. Raghu? Yeah.
Pradeep, can you hear me?
Yes, Raghu. Can you put your video on so we can put you on spotlight?
Actually, my apologies to all of you. I stepped out. Didn't realize it is going to take a lot of time. So, but apologize. I'm in a gym, so I'll switch on my video if you don't mind. But
yeah, absolutely. We would like to see those muscles of yours, huh? The 6 packs.
No. Hey, thank you.
Hey, wonderful.
It's a very honor to be here, and I'm very happy. Congrats, thanks, Ravi, Pradeep, and Dr. Lopez. It's amazing. I enjoyed last 3-4 hours, and I first of all I wanted to congratulate all the participants. You're all winners because the minute you got an idea to be an entrepreneur, work for yourself itself will make you as a winner. So I'm glad to announce the 3rd prize. Rian Foundation. I think that's correct. Right?
No, that's the sponsor and the awards. Okay, now because there are only 3 people who could possibly win this award, let's get all the 3 of them on spotlight. So kind of build up the tempo. Just hold a second, Raghu. Can we put Nemu, and can we put Angiras, and can we put Biosense on spotlight?
Oh, okay, cool.
And then I'll put it on, Raghu, and then you can announce the winner.
Sure.
Okay, can we put Angiras on spotlight, please? Kunjpreet, if you're on call, please put your video on so we can spotlight you. Kunjpreet, can you put your video on, please? Waiting for Kunjpreet. Okay. I like what's written behind you, Raghu. Believe in yourself and change. So I think very relevant for this. So once you do all your entrepreneuring, all of you go to the gym, and that's Raghu's message for all of you as the judge. And so Raghu, because you can't read it from there, probably you will need to do me a countdown, and I will put up the slide there. 5, please, Raghu. 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
And the 3rd prize winner for the 2021-22 pitch competition is Nemo. Please put your hands together. Sarah, take a bow. Wonderful. In spite of all the challenges that the internet showed on you, Sarah, you've done a great job. Congratulations. You take home.
Sarah.
Wonderful. You take home $5,000 as a cash prize.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Cool. Thank you, Raghu, for joining us. Wonderful.
Thank you, Pradeep.
And yes, now comes the moment of truth, right? And at this moment, in spite of whoever is the winner, I request all of you to, wherever you are, please stand up in your places, close your eyes, and give me a moment of silence, because the competitor that you see on the right-hand corner of the window, Kunjpreet, lost her father just 30 minutes before this call. And it takes so much tenacity to be here on the call. So it's a humble request for all of you to give me 30 seconds of silence in memory of her father. May his soul rest in peace. Kunjpreet, you are a brave girl, and I'm sure all of us are inspired by what you've done today. We all pray for your father's soul, and I hope your family stays strong. Thank you so much, everyone. Cool. To announce the result, I know it's a solemn moment, but at the same time, it's also a moment that all of us have to understand how life can be cruel, and we all need to surmount those challenges. So to announce the second prize winner, which will also kind of open up the first prize winner, I have Mr. Dean Austin from the PNC Bank. He's a Senior Vice President and a Regional Investment Director. Before Dean gets on to announce, I would like to share a video from PNC Bank and their efforts towards sustainability. Aryan, you need to unmute yourself so I can put the video on. And yeah, ready? PNC Bank. Yeah, ready? Yeah. Audio, please.
160 years, PNC has been committed to providing our clients with excellent service and powerful expertise to help them meet their financial goals. We are proud of our long-standing history of supporting not only our customers, but also our employees, shareholders, and the communities where we do business. Our most important asset? Our people. We work together to sustain a diverse and inclusive workplace where every one of our 53,000 employees can contribute to the company's success. Diversity and inclusion are among our corporate values, but we don't just talk about them at PNC, we live them. In order to build the most diverse, highest performing team, we seek out employees who bring diversity of thought and experience to create innovative solutions that meet the needs of our increasingly diverse customer base. And we know the best and brightest talent is found across gender, race, age, sexual orientation, ability, and other segments. So we're proud to count among our employee ranks some of the most powerful women in banking and leaders who represent PNC and their cultural communities, all within a workforce that is 5 generations strong. And we're on a mission to be known as an employer of choice for people with disabilities. And as a Main Street bank, we know that when our clients and communities thrive, we thrive.
Thank you so much, Dean, for all that you do for entrepreneurship and all your support for the TiE University ecosystem. Hold your breath. And let me, Dean, you want to say something before we announce that?
Yes, am I unmuted? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'll echo the same sentiments as some of our previous announcers, as everybody should be proud. I got an opportunity to see some of the last pitches, and they were very impressive. Everybody, is a winner. As you can see from the video, PNC is very intentional about and completely dedicated to diversity, equity, and inclusion, or also known as DE&I. Review it not as a check the box initiative, but really truly as an integral part of our philosophy and process and how we go about doing business within our local communities that we serve. PNC will continue to develop an inclusive culture, where every team member is empowered to bring their full self to work. And our dedication to DE&I is also very important to the students as we hope to build those future partnerships. So, we're very proud to be a supporter of the 2022 TiE University Global Pitch Competition. And I am excited to announce the second place award of $10,000 to, drum roll.
Okay, let me get my music on. 1 second, let's keep the suspense on for a bit now. I also have Mr. Anil Sharma, the sponsor from 22nd Century who will be the presenting sponsor for the first prize award, because the moment the second prize gets awarded, we all know who the first prize is. So Mr. Sharma, thank you so much for whatever you're doing. And ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath. The second prize winner for the 2021-22 Global Pitch Competition, who takes away home $15,000 in cash prize, is the young lady from, Kunjpreet from Udaipur. Congratulations, Kunjpreet. Take a bow. You have done an amazing job, and I think you deserve this award. And with that, I hand over the stage to Mr. Anil Sharma to formally announce the winner of the TiE Global Pitch Competition 21-22, which is... I will put this video on once we are done with this. Yes, Mr. Sharma. Mr. Sharma.
Thank you, Pradeep. What a wonderful event, and thank you for hosting it and keeping the moral high for all the participants. You're a great host. Starting with that, and of course, a lot of hard work by Dr. Lopez and Ravi and all the teams putting it together. So I congratulate all. And the important now to what impressive pitches. Congrats to all the participants. You all are the winner. But of course, the top winner, yours, congratulations. What a great pitch, great idea. Congratulations to you and to all the awardees. And of course, the first prize of $50,000 to you. Congratulations. And as I mentioned and earlier, I think you passed this message, 22nd Century will be, we have set aside $1 million for right ideas, a seed money for young entrepreneurs. Let's say, as a company, we have been planning to invest $1 million for all the entrepreneurs who are building scalable solutions. So congratulations all, and thank you for having me.
Wonderful. So can we, thank you so much, Mr. Sharma. Can we put the man of the day, Uros, my friend, fully on spotlight? Let's remove all spotlights. Uros, take a bow. Can we all give him a standing ovation, please? Uros, ladies and gentlemen, from Boston, the winner of $50,000 in cash prize, the man with a mission to help women and this world be a better place. Thank you so much, Uros. Can we have all the teams putting their videos on so we can put them on spotlight? All of you are winners today. Some of you have won cash prizes, some of you have won hearts. But at the end of the day, the only winner is entrepreneurship, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Can you put the first three teams on spotlight, please? Uros, you need to stand up and take a bow, man. You can't sit up and take a bow, right? Stand up and take a bow. Yeah, that's the spirit.
I just say,
One second. Yeah. You will get your 2 minutes to fame to make your speech, but make sure that no one like Will Smith comes up there to slap you or whatever, right? Go ahead. Here's your 2 minutes.
First of all, thank you so much, TiE community, all the mentors, all the advisors. Fantastic global competition. I really learned a lot about the problems going on across the world, and really, really impressive pitches. Thank you, Pradeep, for running a fantastic show. And finally, Kunjpreet, seriously, my condolences. I think an amazing show of strength and courage to come up here and still give the pitch and be with us. So I hope peace for your family.
Cool. Kunjpreet, your thoughts?
Thanks everyone. Sorry.
We understand. Stay strong, and I'm sure all our prayers are with you and your family. Yep. And you are an inspiration, Kunjpreet. Sarah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll just echo everything that's been said. I really appreciate all the mentorship, support, collaboration, feedback, volunteering. It's been an incredible experience, and I look forward to staying involved with TiE, and many condolences, Kunjpreet. I'm really thinking of your family right now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, teams. It's been wonderful. And I don't have a Spotify paid account, so I will have to go through the ads. In the meanwhile, of course, all of you also know that there are close to $1.6 million worth of in-kind awards. Please look out for an email from University of TiE.org to get more details. You will get some more inputs and insights. We will reach out to you, requesting you for your bank account details for us to process the cash payments and all that stuff. Do look out for the email. And like Thomas said, don't forget the relationships. At the end of the day, it's relationships that matter. Build those relationships. And when you build relationships without any inherent selfish motive, those relationships will always pay you. I would like to close today evening with one very strong poem that has always been my inspiration. I am sure it will be an inspiration for all of you. This is by this gentleman called John Rees, an Irish poet. And John Rees says that when I am too elated or when I am too sad, I go and look at a stone cutter hammering away at his rock. He hammers probably 100 times, and yet the rock doesn't break. At the 101st blow, the rock breaks into two. And deep down, I know that it was not the 101st blow that did it, but everything that went before it. So there is no shortcut to hard work. Go ahead, keep working hard, keep entrepreneuring. I have Vijay Menon here, who's the Executive Director of TiE Global. Vijay, any closing thoughts from you before I move on to the co-hosts? Co-chairs too. I'm in hosting mode, so everyone looks like a co-host to me. Vijay, all yours.
No, Pradeep, all I can say is congrats to all the winners. And this is a program that we kickstarted about 3 years ago. And I think it's getting a critical mass now. It's reaching an inflection point. And we really see this program as a true pillar of what we're trying to do at TiE. So congrats to all the co-chairs who are here and to all the participants. And of course, the chapters and the mentors over there. Thank you for all of you.
Thank you so much, Vijay. Ravi Puli, our co-chair from TiE DC, your closing thoughts?
Thank you, Pradeep. Congratulations to all the winners and also participants. I'm very happy to see that Boston in the very first year, is a winner. So I personally went there, met all their co-chairs and their president, Anu Chitrapu and all. And thank you very much for joining this program. And I invite each and every chapter to join and help the next generation of entrepreneurs. And I also want to personally once again thank each and every sponsor who could make this possible today to help these next generation of entrepreneurs. Especially Anil Sharma, who has not only stepped up to give the big cash prize, but also has announced a $1 million investment. So please reach out, and we are also going to have the demo day where you can come and meet all the investors and see that you will move forward in your journey of entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to grow this program bigger. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ravi. Mr. Subbu Pericharla from Hyderabad.
Thanks, Pradeep. And first of all, Kunjpreet, we are all there with you, and God bless you more strengths. Your courage is very, very inspirational for each and everyone in this session today. And keep the same courage, continue, and you will make more meaningful heights in the life, and you will inspire so many other people, right? Thank you so much, and God bless. And each and everyone who are part of this, and every entrepreneur is a winner. As I always say, businesses do fail, but not the entrepreneurs. And when you decided to be an entrepreneur, your success started. And I wish each and everyone to be more and more success. Success is not just the money. It's a journey, and continue the journey and inspire more and more people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Subbu. And I would fail in my duty if I did not acknowledge the role of the jury members, the 4 jury members that were there on the call today. Rajiv, Valerie, where is Ritu? I'm not able to see Ritu here. And Mr. Shankar Ram, thank you so much. You guys have done a wonderful job of finding the best team. I know it must have been tough. And now I hand over the baton to the grand young man of TiE University. You're literally in the center of my screen now, Dr. Paul Lopez, for everything that you do for this program. I think you deserve a round of applause from all of us. This is a man who gets up at 3 o'clock and sends mail to jury members and judges. And you're just an inspiration. Dr. Lopez, all yours. You're on mute.
We started on this journey 9 years ago in Atlanta, We started, I think, in Hyderabad about 6 years ago, and look how far we've all come together. But it's really looking ahead. I want to leave you with a very simple thought, right? You know what a waiter says when he or she is serving you food? When you're done with the dinner or your lunch, he says, keep your fork. Or she says, keep your fork. And you go, what does that mean? And it's because dessert is coming up. It's the best part, right? And what that really means is your best days, your best piece of the event is ahead of you, not behind you. You've just finished a great dinner with us today, or this our program. We just know, keep your fork because your best days are ahead. And the way that we know that your best days are ahead is on our website. I'm going to share screen for just a second, or Pradeep, can I do that?
As long as you promise to share dessert too, we will let you do that.
It's on its way virtually, so enjoy the apple pie from the US. But I want you to just notice our website, one very simple action. We used to have this as from motivation to mentoring, and now says ideation to investment. We're not done in terms of the evolution of this ecosystem. Come be part of it, stay part of it. You can give, you can get, whether it doesn't matter your role. So that's the action I call upon all of you in your local chapter and globally. Continue to come here. Let us know what's going on in your lives. Come help other people. We want to continue to help you. And I know that it's been a great part of the journey, but keep your fork. Your best days are ahead of you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lopez. And finally, before we let everyone go home, I would like to call upon the G-Man, Gordon, the man behind the tools and all the scoring systems that run seamlessly without anyone knowing at the back end. He works with 6 monitors around him, so he's literally Superman for us. Gordon, any closing thoughts from your side, and we will close the night.
I'm just excited to be a small part in a large wheel where we watch people changing the world.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. As always, Sachin from the G-Man. Yes, Subbu.
Just before one more minute, all of us will allow, can you put PMO team as well as planning team also? So it's not like possible with 1 or 2. Maybe we are the mouthpiece for the entire team. Paul, me, Ravi, and Vivek. Vivek is not keeping well, so he couldn't join. But it's just not possible without having these 2 wonderful teams. Like if it can be possible, can you just spotlight planning?
Okay. Planning team. Let's see who was there. Dr. Rao, if you're here. Sebastian, Craig Abbott from New York. Arin, can you put them on spotlight? And to see the PMO team, I may have to knock off my virtual background because these boys are all here. We don't have devices. So all of you come down here so we can put ourselves on spotlight.
Yeah. Come behind you. You also be in the spotlight.
Yeah. So we will all be here. Yes, for sure.
Display the slide, Pradeep, with all the names, as a lot of them are not present. So
yes, I think whoever is present, let's put them on video, Ravi. So come down. Aryan, can you put Craig? I can see Craig. I can see Ravi Brambhatt on the call. Put Ravi on spotlight, please. Who else am I missing here? Anyone else from Sebastian, who's our youngest entrant into the planning team now? Let's put Sebastian also on spotlight. Let me put myself on spotlight so you can see the PMO team. Okay, come down, boys. You need to come down here, and I need to push my monitor. Yeah. Okay. So that's all of us from Coimbatore behind the team.
Please. Yeah, don't get shy. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
I think one is still missing. Someone is missing. Wonderful.
Can all of you join in, appreciating the support?
Okay. Yeah. You guys need to come. Okay.
Great job, guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, everyone. We close the night formally now. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you next year again. I'm removing all spotlights and putting everyone in gallery. You can stay on. There's an after party going on with virtual alcohol and cocktails and some Tamil music for you. Here we go.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Subbu? You want Telugu songs, is it?
No, that's okay. any music is music for me. I'm saying thanks to Rajiv and because he took time to join.
But the only music that you dance to is Vadini's music, right? Mrs. Perichalla's music. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Veena. Thank you so much, Sahar, Raman, Anu. Hey, Anu, nice to see you here. And you Boston team owes us a treat now that your team is the winner. Yay!
Yes, anytime. Treat on me.
Yes, absolutely. Mahendra from Toronto, thank you so much for joining. Brian, thank you so much. We got your mail. We will pass it on to all the teams. Thank you so much for that support. Ritesh Pava, our jury member today. Mahesh Katale from Mysuru. Netu Randava, Sudanwa from TiE Mysuru. You're an inspiration and thank you so much for all that you do for the TiE University ecosystem. Ankita from Mysuru, Sanjay Gorades, Arun Parekh from Rajasthan, my friend from Islamabad, Umair Parekh. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. See you. Bye.
Thank you, Mahesh.
Take care. Also, Ravi, Super sir.